What do you do when nobody notices? What do you do when you're working so hard, you're showing up consistently, you're sacrificing, yet it seems like everyone else is getting the opportunities? What do you do when your sales aren't where you want them to be, or when your business isn't growing fast enough, when your health goals seem miles away, or when your dreams feel invisible? Today, I want to talk to you about a powerful message from Deion Sanders and why I don't ever want you to give up on your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, and the very life you deserve. Welcome to another episode of the Leading Life Podcast, where we talk practical wisdom for leadership and life. I'm your host, Andy Zook, and I've learned that leadership is about how we show up for people, how we navigate change, and how we continue growing. Right now, on today's episode, keep making plays. This is the Leading Life Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Zook, and this is where we talk about what it takes to grow, lead, and live with purpose. I promise, as always, no corporate speak, no phony positivity or empty motivation. And today we're talking about something that separates champions from everyone else. And it's not talent, it's not luck, it's not connections, it's not networking, it's not blah, blah, blah. It is the ability to keep showing up long after the excitement has worn off. The ability to keep moving forward one play at a time.
See, my top plays happen at practice when no one was looking. My top plays happen in Fort Myers, Florida, when none of you knew anything about me. My top plays happened when it was no camera there. See, those are the plays you just caught on camera. Those weren't my top plays because I practiced like I played, so when I played, it would be practice. So there's somebody out there right now, the light ain't on you, but keep making plays. Nobody's talking about you, but keep making plays. Right. I know your sales numbers aren't where your friend is, but keep making plays. I know nobody's talking about you, and you're not on the leaderboard right now, but baby, keep making plays.
And who is Deion Sanders? Well, before we really dig into it, let's briefly talk about why people listen when this man speaks. Deion Sanders is one of the most remarkable athletes in sports history. He played professional football and professional baseball at the highest levels. He won 2 Super Bowls. He is known as Prime Time. But what made him different wasn't just athletic ability. It was his confidence, preparation, and presence. He expected greatness because he practiced greatness. And today he's become one of the most influential coaches in college football, helping transform programs by demanding belief, discipline, accountability, and effort. And one of the most powerful messages that he says is, I practice like I play, so when I play, it would be practice. And here's the part of Deion's message that really hits me. He said, there's somebody out there and the light ain't on you, but keep making plays. So how many people listening need to hear that today? Maybe you're working harder than ever. Maybe you're trying to lose weight. Maybe you're building a business. Maybe you're leading a team. Maybe you're rebuilding your life and nobody seems to notice. No applause, no promotion, no viral moment, no recognition. The light isn't on you yet. But that doesn't mean your work doesn't matter. See, most people quit because they confuse visibility with value. They think if nobody sees me, it doesn't count. And that mindset alone destroys dreams. The gym workout counts even if nobody sees it. Those extra sales calls that you're making count. The chapter you read this week counts. The difficult conversation counts. The walk around the neighborhood counts. The money you save counts. Everything counts. Success is usually happening long before it becomes visible, and the roots grow before the tree appears. So here's where leaders often get it wrong. They reward results while ignoring effort. But results often come delayed. As a leader, your job is to recognize the person who is making plays before the scoreboard even reflects it. That employee that's showing initiative, that team member that's learning something new, that associate that's improving, the person doing the right things consistently, because eventually effort catches up to outcome. So let's get into a little bit of psychology behind this, because really all it is simply delayed gratification. the ability to continue working toward a goal without immediate reward. Research consistently shows that people who can stay committed during the invisible phase often outperform people who rely solely on motivation. Why? Because motivation comes and goes. We all know it. Some days you're more motivated than others. Identity, though, stays. One person who says, I am a disciplined person, I am a learner, I am a leader, I am a creator. Those people continue taking action even when nobody's watching. Here's one way to think about it. Years and years ago, I had a coworker who told me that her boyfriend plays guitar and he's looking for a drummer. And I said, well, I drum, I'm a drummer, but I hadn't played in years. And when we first got together, I was awful. I wasn't sure he was going to ever want to play with me again. I was all over the place, but we got together again and we practiced. I got better. We practiced more. I got better. And then by the time that we actually recorded a few things, we were tight. Before people heard our recordings, they had no idea how bad I was when we started. People see the performance. They don't see thousands of invisible repetitions. The same thing happens in leadership. The same thing happens in fitness. The same thing happens in relationships. The same thing happens in many parts of our life. Champions are built in the unseen hours. So keep making plays. Nobody is talking about you, but keep making plays. That's leadership. Not needing the validation, not needing the attention, not needing praise every 5 minutes. People get so caught up in that. When I first started in management, I was caught up in that. Just continue doing the work, because some of the strongest people that I've ever met weren't the loudest. They weren't the most recognized, but they simply showed up day after day after day. And eventually, people couldn't ignore them. If you're listening today and you feel behind, this episode is perfect for you. I want you to think about this. Maybe somebody else has a bigger house. Maybe they have a better title at work. Maybe they have a bigger audience. Maybe they have a bigger social group, a higher income, a better looking social media feed. Deion Sanders' message applies here too. Your sales numbers aren't where your friend is, but keep making plays. Comparison is a dream killer. Someone will always be ahead of you. Someone will always be behind you. The only race that matters is becoming better than the person you were yesterday. So keep making your plays. Keep running your race. Keep building your life. So as we wrap up this episode, I want you to think about a couple questions. Maybe journal through these or think about them as you're driving into work. Where in my life am I tempted to quit because nobody's noticing? Second, what play do I need to keep making consistently? What is going to give me the greatest return on investment? And third, am I focusing on recognition or am I focusing on making progress? Be honest with yourself, because your future may depend on how you answer those questions. This week, I want you to stop worrying about the spotlight. I want you to stop worrying about the scoreboard. I want you to stop worrying about who's ahead of you. I want you to focus solely on making your next play, that next workout, the next meeting that you lead, the next sales call, maybe the next act of kindness that someone desperately needs, the next chapter you write for your book, the next conversation, the next opportunity, one play at a time, because that's how extraordinary lives are built. Not through one giant moment, but thousands of small plays that nobody sees. That's what made Deion Sanders great. All right, so that is today's episode. And if this podcast made a positive impact, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'd truly appreciate a quick rating or review on whatever platform you listen to me on. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next on the Leading Life Podcast. I'm Andy Zook. Remember, I want you to lead with purpose, live with intention, and keep becoming who you were meant to be. But most importantly, go out, be the hero in somebody's story today, and keep making plays. All right, I will talk to you soon. Take care. Have an awesome day.